Hello friends, this is Purvish from Sawmill Classes. We are solving the revisionary question of liquidation, that is question number 5 of B list contributors. So let's read the question along with us. In liquidation which commenced on 1st April 2014, certain creditors could not receive payments of the realization of assets and out of the contribution from B list contributors. The following are the details of certain transfer of equity shares which took place in 2012-13 and 13-14. As you can see, there is a table given to you in the question which has shareholders A, B, C, D, the number of shares that they have transferred during the last year and the previous year to that. The date of transfer is very critical, which is 1st Feb 2013, 1st June, 1st September, 1st January 2014 and 1st March 2014, and at the same time the amount of creditors which were pending on that particular date. The last line says all the shares were of rupees 10 each, 7 is paid up on that. That means shares have a partly paid up value of 3 rupees. Show the amount to be realized from the various shareholders listed above, ignoring the expense and the remuneration to the liquidator. So we are supposed to prepare a table of B list contributors. Hello friends, we will be starting with the solution of question number 5 of our revisionary sheet that we have to solve. We will be giving you further video updates for solutions of various other chapters too. You can sit home and study and practice these questions at home. I have read the question number 5. We will be providing the solution to the same. We are doing list B contributors table. So this can be asked as a 10-mark question in the board exam. This is a 10-mark question. How to solve it? It's very simple. We have to just go and make a table of list B contributors, and this is going to fetch us 10 marks. As you can see in the question ahead, we are given various shareholders with the number of shares that they have, and the amount per share is rupees 10. That's its face value. But the company has made a call of only 7 rupees. So that means a shareholder is still liable to go and pay 3 rupees. Now what is a list B contributor? A list B contributor is a person he will be asked to pay the money by the company only if the list A contributors do not pay. The assets that we have sold, that we have gone and sold it, is not sufficient enough to pay our creditors. Hence the company has no choice but to go to this B list contributors and ask money from them. What we have to look at it, the date is very important in this question. Any amount or any kind of transfer which has happened preceding 1 year from the date when the commencement of winding up did, so that B list shareholder is not supposed to pay any kind of payment, as in he is not liable to make payment. So if you can see the question, the commencement started on 1st April 2014. That means any transfer which has happened in the last 1 year, we can ask money from. But if there is any transfer which has happened prior to that, uske pehle, 1 saal ke pehle, then that person is not liable to make any payment to us. Hence, if we go back to the question, if you've already taken a screenshot of the question, you can go back to the question later on. Mr. A, who is the shareholder, he has transferred his shares on 1st March 2013. 1st March 2013. Since it is before 1 year of the winding up, as in the date is before the winding up, 1 year backwards count karna hai, uske pehle wala date hai. So that person we cannot ask money from. So that means A cannot be asked to pay money for. So his shares are, even though they are partly paid up, we cannot ask money from him. We will be able to ask money only from shareholder B, C, D and E, whose number of shares are already given in the question. To solve the question, we have to make a small table. The table looks something like this. Statement of B list contributors. We will have these various columns in it. That is the name of the shareholder, that we are supposed to put the name of the shareholder. So A ka naam nahi aayega isme because we cannot ask money from him. We have to do B, C, D and E. The number of shares they were holding or that they transferred during 1 year, in the last 1 year. The amount that we can charge maximum. Now this is very simple. How do you get the maximum amount that can be collected from them? The maximum amount that can be collected from them will be the number of shares that they have multiplied by 3 rupees. अब ये 3 रुपया कैसे आया? The share value is 10, the paid up value is 7, that means we can ask for the remaining 3 rupees. The position of creditors or the creditors outstanding on the various dates of transfer. So transfer date is 1/6/2013, 1/9/2013, 1/1/14, 1/3/14, and the total amount that we paid to creditors. So the left hand side column, that is column number 1, 2, 3, is more shareholder oriented. The shareholder details is given. The remaining columns, that is creditors and the total amount paid, is the actual amount that we are paying to the creditors through the B list contributors. So let's start solving this question. We will go very slow. There are 2 options. You can actually hear out the video or we can start solving together. I'll be writing it very slowly. You can jot down the points similarly. So we go to the name of the shareholders list, the name of the shareholder. So the name of the shareholder, as I told you, A is not eligible to make payment to us because his transfers have happened 1 year before the due date of the winding up. So we start with the B shareholder. So we start with the name of the shareholder. So we write D is liable, C is liable, D is liable, E is liable. So there are 4 people from whom we can collect money, that is shareholder B, C, D and E. Now as you can see the number of shares column, the number of shares column for B is 2500. So we write number of shares 2500. C is 1200. So we write 1200. D is 800. So we write 800. And E has shares of 1500. So we write 1500. Total लेने का जरूरत नहीं, this column total is not important. Now the maximum amount that we are supposed to take from them, how do we calculate the maximum amount? We need to go to the last line of the question which says that each share is of 10 rupees, the paid up value is 7. That means it's partly made up by 3 rupees. So what we need to go is multiply the number of shares with 3, multiply by the number of shares by 3, and we will get the maximum amount that we can collect from the shareholder. So what is the maximum amount that we can collect? Let's do a quick calculation. 2500 into 3 is 7500. 1200 into 3 is 3600. 800 into 3 is 2400. And 1500 into 3 is 4500. We can take the total of this amount. That's the maximum amount that can be collected. This is the maximum amount that can be collected by the company from its B list shareholders. Now to proceed further, आगे solve करने के लिए what we need to check is what was the creditor status on the day when the transfer happened. So B, when he transferred the shares, Mr. B, when he transferred the shares, the creditor's position was 12,000. That means the day when B transferred his shares, creditors were 12,000. This was the amount pending. On 1st June 2013, the amount was rupees 12,000. Now we need to pay this creditor 12,000. Now who is eligible or who is liable to make payment? 12,000 rupees will have to be paid by 4 people, that is B, C, D, E. All 4 will contribute to 12,000, this 12,000 rupees. And in what proportion we have to pay? Option 1, calculate the proportion of the shares that we have, or option 2, calculate the proportion of the amount. Answer दोनों में same ही आएगा. We can calculate the proportion either of the shares or we can calculate the proportion either of the amount. Say for example, if you look at the proportion is 25 is to 12 is to 8 is to 15. What is the proportion? 2 zeros are cancelled. So 25 is to 12 is to 8 is to 15. So let's take a quick call on this. What is the total? What is the total that we are getting here? So 20, 45 and 15. So that gives me a total of 60. So how do we divide? So how do we get this amount? 12,000. We have to put the amounts here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. We need to put 4 amounts here. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how do we put the amount here, sir? So 60 is the total ratio. ये ratio में 12,000 को divide करना है. So 12,000 is the ratio of 60 with 25, 12, 8 and 15. So let's take a quick calculation. 12,000 divided by 60. 12,000 divided by 60 is 200. 200 into 25 gives me 5,000. Perfect. 12,000 divided by 60 is 200. 200 into 12 gives me 2400. 2,400. Same way, 12,000 divided by 60 is 200. 200 into 8 is 1600. So that gets paid. 12,000 divided by 60 is 200 into 15 is nothing but 3,000. So that was how we calculated the first creditor column. I again repeat how the creditors were calculated. The total creditors which were pending on the date of transfer was 12,000. I divided in the ratio of the shares. जो shares का ratio है उसमें divide करना है. How did we get the ratio? 0, 0, 0 gets cancelled. So what we did is 25, 12, 8 and 15, which gives me a total of 25 plus 20 is 45 plus 15 is 60. So I divide 12,000 by 60, multiply by 25 gives me 5,000. 12,000 divided by 60 into 12 gives me 2400. 12,000 divided by 60 into 8 gives me 1600. And 12,000 divided by 60 into 15 gives me how much? 3,000. So that's how the first column is being completed. Now we go to the second column, that is the position of creditors on 1/9/2013. Now 1/9/2013 को जो भी creditor का amount रहेगा उसमें Mr. B will not be a party to it because he is already transferred his shares. So that means a shareholder will not be liable to make any payment to creditors after he or she has already transferred the shares. So now the creditor position is 15,500. The creditor's position is 15,500, but we will not be writing 15,500. 15,500 is a cumulative figure. It is a total figure, out of which 12,000 we have already paid. 15,500 is the total creditor cumulative figure, out of which we have already paid 12,000. That means we will have to go and pay only the remaining 3,500. We have to go and pay only rupees 3,500. Very, very important point that Mr. B will not be made to make payment. So what we do is B के column में अपने को जाके dash डालना है because he will not be liable to make payment. So now this 3,500 is to be distributed not by B but only three people, that is C, D and E. That is only three people, C, D and E. So C is 12, B is 8 and E is 15. If you take the total of these three people, it comes to 35. It comes to how much? 35. 35 को लेके अपने को ये रेशियो में डिवाइड करना है. तो 3,500 को we don't have to consider B now. We have to consider only three people. That is 12, 8 and 15. So 3,500 divided by 35 gives me 100. 100 into 12 is nothing but 1,200. 3,500 divided by 35 is 100. 100 into 8 is nothing but 800. 3,500 into 3,500 divided by 35 into 15 will give me nothing but 1,500. That is how the payments will be done. That is how the payments will be done. So we are done with the second column. We are done with the second column. And as you can observe that the payment, the maximum amount that I could collect, from C was 3,600, and C has already paid 2,400 and 1,200. So 3,600 is paid. 2,400, 1,600 plus 800, so 2,400 is also paid by B, and 4,500 is also paid. That means now we cannot even ask for more money from B, from C, from D or from E. That means we cannot make any payments to further creditors. We cannot make any payment to further creditors. That means the creditors which are given here, will not get any payment from the company. In short, the company has been declared insolvent because it cannot make payment to its outside creditors. Last thing that we are supposed to do is just take the total of this column. So the total is 5,000. That's what the maximum amount can be paid. He had to pay 7,500. He is paying 5,000 because that was a liability when he made the transfer. 3,600 is 3,600. 2,400 maximum. He is paying 2,400. I repeat, how did we get 1,600 plus 800? 3,000 plus 1,500 will give me 4,500. Rest, you can just take the total of the amount, and that ends the question. The 10-mark question gets over here. This table gets you 10 marks. This is nothing but the list B contributors. You can copy this down, the entire thing, and this will fetch you 10 marks in the board exam.